Men love women who give them this feeling. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about something fundamental, something that resonates in the deepest part of a man's soul. What is it that truly captivates a man's heart? What is that feeling that compels him to commit, to build, to sacrifice, to become more than he is today? Men don't just fall in love with beauty, with charm, or even with intelligence alone. Those things matter, of course, but they are fleeting. What men truly seek, what makes them stay, is the feeling of being needed and admired in a way that aligns with their deepest instincts. A man wants to know that his efforts matter, that his struggles are seen, and that his contributions to the world, no matter how small or grand, are appreciated by the woman he holds dear. He does not want to be merely tolerated. He wants to be respected. When a woman recognizes this and speaks to the noble part of him, she gives him the one thing he cannot find anywhere else: a reason to rise. You see, in today's world, men are often told to suppress their natural instincts, to quiet their ambitions, to soften their edges. But a woman who truly understands men does the opposite. She does not diminish him. She calls him forward. She encourages him to be strong, to take responsibility, to pursue excellence. And here's the truth: when a man finds a woman who makes him feel this way, he will move mountains for her. He will build, protect, and dedicate himself in a way that no superficial attraction could ever inspire. Because at the core of a man's nature is the desire to carry weight, to bear responsibility, and to become worthy of respect. A woman who fosters this, not by force, not by manipulation, but by genuine admiration, holds the key to his heart. A man falls deeply in love with a woman who makes him feel like a man. This is not about superficial validation or empty praise. It is about something fundamental to his identity. From the time he is young, a man is conditioned to strive, to prove himself, to seek a sense of purpose in his actions. He is biologically and psychologically wired to build, to protect, and to lead. When a woman recognizes and affirms this aspect of him, it ignites something deep within him, something primal, something undeniable. A man does not want to feel unnecessary. He does not want to be just another presence in someone's life, easily replaced or overlooked. He craves the feeling that who he is and what he does has real value. When a woman makes him feel like he is respected, like he is strong and capable, he will be drawn to her with an intensity that logic alone cannot explain. This is not about boosting his ego for the sake of it. It is about understanding that men thrive when they feel they have a role to play, when they feel that their contributions matter. Modern society often sends mixed messages about masculinity. Men are sometimes told they are too aggressive, too dominant, or that their nature is a problem to be corrected, rather than a strength to be honed. But this approach only weakens them. A man who feels like his natural instincts to protect, to provide, to lead are unwelcome will eventually become passive, indifferent, or disengaged. He will stop trying. And when that happens, relationships suffer. A man who does not feel like a man will not show up as the best version of himself. He will not feel inspired to give, to commit, to invest himself fully. A woman who understands this does not suppress his masculinity. She encourages it in a way that is balanced and healthy. She does not treat him as though he is expendable or insignificant. She does not talk down to him, belittle his efforts, or make him feel as though he is just another accessory in her life. Instead, she recognizes the weight he carries, the pressure, the expectations, the silent battles he fights every day, and she respects him for it. She makes him feel like what he does is seen, that his sacrifices and struggles are not taken for granted. This does not mean a woman should cater to a man's every whim or abandon her own strength. Quite the opposite. A truly strong woman knows that her power does not come from competing with a man, but from complementing him. She is secure in herself, which allows her to inspire him rather than control him. She gives him space to lead without feeling the need to diminish herself in the process. And because she does this, he is drawn to her in a way that is beyond simple attraction. He feels a sense of home in her presence because she makes him feel like he can be fully himself, a man in every sense of the word. When a woman makes a man feel like a man, he responds in ways that are deeply ingrained in his nature. He becomes more protective of her, more devoted, more willing to go to great lengths to provide for her happiness and security. He does not do this because he has to, but because it fulfills something inside him. A man is at his best when he has something to fight for, something to build toward, something to protect. A woman who understands this does not need to manipulate him or demand his loyalty. It comes naturally because she has given him a feeling that he cannot find just anywhere. This is what separates a fleeting attraction from an unbreakable bond. A man may be drawn to a woman's looks, her charm, her presence, but what makes him stay, what makes him invest, commit, and give his all is the way she makes him feel about himself in her presence. And when a woman makes a man feel like he is truly valued, like he is truly needed, he will move mountains for her without a second thought. A man thrives when he feels needed, valued, and responsible for something greater than himself. This is not merely a preference, it is embedded in his very nature. He is wired for responsibility, for structure, for meaning that extends beyond himself. From the time he is a boy, he looks at the world and instinctively understands that his worth is tied to what he can build, protect, and provide. When a woman fosters this in him, when she reinforces his sense of purpose rather than diminishing it, he is drawn to her in a way that is both profound and unshakable. Men are not inspired by ease or complacency. They are inspired by challenge and responsibility. A man who is given everything without effort will inevitably lose interest. He does not seek to simply exist. He seeks to strive. A woman who understands this does not treat him like a child, nor does she remove all obstacles from his path. Instead, she respects his ability to bear burdens, to take charge, to face difficulty and come out stronger. This respect fuels him. It makes him feel like he is not just passing through life, but actively shaping it, making an impact, creating something that matters. One of the most powerful things a woman can do for a man is to give him the sense that he is needed, not in a desperate or dependent way, but in a way that reinforces his strength and ability. She does not pretend to be weak. Rather, she acknowledges that his presence, his efforts, his contributions make a real difference in her life. And when a man believes that he is truly needed, he steps up. He becomes more disciplined, more focused, more willing to take risks and sacrifice for the things that matter. He becomes a better version of himself because he has something worth striving for. But there is a crucial distinction here. A man does not want to feel needed in a way that drains him or shackles him. He does not want to be responsible for someone who refuses to take responsibility for herself. Rather, he wants to feel that his strength is recognized and appreciated, that his presence is valued, that his ability to provide, to protect, to lead is something that enhances the life of the woman he loves. There is a vast difference between a woman who expects a man to carry her and a woman who inspires a man to stand taller because she believes in him. Many relationships fail because this fundamental truth is ignored. When a man feels like his contributions are insignificant, when he believes that nothing he does is ever enough, or that his efforts are met with indifference or even criticism, he will either withdraw or grow resentful. A man who does not feel needed eventually stops trying. He does not need perfection, nor does he need endless praise, but he does need to feel that what he brings to the table matters. He needs to know that his sacrifices, his struggles, his dedication are not in vain. A woman who understands this does not compete with a man in a way that diminishes him. She does not try to make him feel small to prove her own strength. Instead, she acknowledges his drive, his discipline, his desire to make something of himself, and she encourages it. She speaks to the part of him that wants to build, to take on challenges, to leave a mark on the world. She does not suppress his masculinity. She refines it, channels it, elevates it. She is not passive, but she also does not seek to dominate him. Instead, she partners with him, walking alongside him, reinforcing the very best in him rather than stifling it. This is why men are drawn to women who make them feel like they have a purpose, a mission, a role to play that extends beyond themselves. In a world that increasingly tells men they are unnecessary or interchangeable, a woman who affirms their significance is rare and invaluable. She does not need to flatter him with empty words, nor does she need to inflate his ego with false praise. She simply recognizes his nature and allows him the space to fulfill it. And in return, he will devote himself to her in a way that is both fierce and unwavering. True femininity is not weakness, but a unique strength that balances masculinity, creating a dynamic, powerful relationship. This is something that has been fundamentally misunderstood in modern discourse. Strength and power are often framed in a way that suggests they must be identical between men and women for them to be valuable. But that is simply not true. Masculine and feminine energies are complementary, not identical, and it is in their interplay that the deepest and most fulfilling relationships are formed. A man does not seek a woman who competes with him in the same way he competes with other men. He seeks a woman who enhances him, who brings something to the table that he does not possess on his own. Femininity is often mistakenly associated with passivity. but that could not be further from reality. True femininity is not about submission in the sense of weakness. It is about a deep-rooted ability to nurture, to inspire, and to bring emotional depth to a relationship. It is a power that operates on a completely different level from brute force or domination. A woman who understands this does not feel the need to suppress her natural feminine qualities in an attempt to appear strong in the way that men are strong. She recognizes that her power lies in something unique, something that men deeply admire and, more importantly, need. Men are drawn to women who embrace their feminine nature because it provides a counterbalance to their masculine drive. A man is built to conquer, to push forward, to face external challenges head on. But what happens when there is no refuge from that battle? When a man is constantly expected to be in a combative state, to always be proving himself without any reprieve, he eventually burns out. A woman who understands the strength of her femininity provides something invaluable, an environment where a man can lay down his weapons, not because he has been defeated, but because he has found peace. A feminine woman does not seek to overpower a man, nor does she try to take on the same burdens he carries in the same way he carries them. Instead, she offers him something just as vital: encouragement, emotional depth, and a perspective that sees beyond mere survival or conquest. Where a man is often focused on external battles, a woman's strength lies in her ability to bring beauty, warmth, and meaning to the things he fights for. She refines his rough edges, not by criticizing them, but by showing him that there is more to life than struggle alone. One of the most significant aspects of this dynamic is that men feel truly at home with a woman who understands the balance between strength and softness. A woman who is feminine but also firm in her values creates an environment where a man feels both challenged and at ease. He does not want a partner who is weak, nor does he want one who is constantly in conflict with him. He desires a woman who understands when to push and when to support, when to challenge and when to encourage. This delicate balance is what makes a relationship truly powerful. A woman who embraces her femininity does not see it as a limitation but as an advantage. She recognizes that her presence alone can inspire a man to greater heights. She knows that she does not have to prove her worth by competing with him, but rather by complementing him in a way that makes both of them stronger together than they could ever be apart. She is not submissive in the sense of weakness, but in the sense of understanding that true power does not always come from direct confrontation. Sometimes it comes from the ability to influence, to guide, and to nurture growth in ways that brute force never could. This is why men are deeply drawn to women who are secure in their femininity. They do not need another warrior by their side in the same way they need someone who brings a different kind of strength into their lives. They seek a partner who makes them feel that their battles have meaning, that their struggles are not in vain, and that at the end of the day they have something truly worth fighting for. A man will devote himself to a woman who pushes him toward purpose, not complacency. This is an undeniable truth, yet it is often misunderstood. Many people assume that love should be a place of constant ease, free of challenge or discomfort. But the reality is that men do not thrive in stagnation. A man who is not growing, who is not striving towards something greater, will eventually feel restless, unfulfilled, and lost. This is why the most powerful relationships are those in which a woman encourages a man's growth, rather than allowing him to remain in a state of mediocrity. A man does not seek a partner who tolerates his flaws without ever expecting him to improve. He does not feel truly valued by a woman who enables his bad habits or allows him to drift through life without purpose. Instead, he is drawn to a woman who believes in him so deeply that she refuses to let him settle for less than he is capable of. This is not about nagging or criticizing. Those things only breed resentment. Rather, it is about inspiring him to rise by seeing his potential and calling it out of him. When a man finds a woman who challenges him in this way, he feels a profound sense of respect for her. She becomes someone he admires, someone whose opinion matters deeply to him. He does not see her encouragement as an attack, but as a reflection of her investment in him. He understands that she is not trying to control him, but rather helping him become the man he was meant to be. This is a rare and invaluable gift. Many men go through life without anyone truly believing in them, without anyone pushing them to reach their highest potential. When they find a woman who does, they will hold on to her with everything they have. However, there is a fine line between encouragement and control. A man does not want a woman who dictates his every move or tries to mold him into something he is not. He wants a woman who sees his strengths and helps refine them, who challenges him to be better while still allowing him the freedom to grow in his own way. The difference lies in intention. A woman who pushes a man out of love and respect will be met with appreciation, whereas a woman who tries to force him to change out of dissatisfaction will be met with resistance. Encouraging a man toward his purpose also means understanding his need for a mission. Men are not wired to simply exist. They need something to strive toward, a goal that gives their life meaning. A woman who recognizes this does not take it personally when he is deeply focused on his ambitions. Instead, she supports his drive not by sacrificing herself in the process, but by standing beside him as he pursues something greater. She does not view his ambition as a threat, but as an essential part of who he is. In return, a man who feels truly supported in his purpose will dedicate himself to the woman who stands by him. He will move mountains for her, not because she demands it, but because he sees her as an integral part of his journey. He will want to make her proud, to live up to the vision she has for him, not out of obligation, but out of deep appreciation. When a man knows that a woman sees greatness in him, he will do everything in his power to prove her right. This dynamic is what separates a fleeting attraction from a lasting bond. A relationship built on complacency may feel comfortable for a time, but it will eventually lead to frustration and disengagement. A relationship built on mutual growth, on pushing each other to be better, creates something far more enduring. Men do not fall in love with ease. They fall in love with purpose. And when they find a woman who aligns with that purpose, they will give her their loyalty, their devotion, and their very best selves. Loyalty and trust form the core foundation of a lasting bond between a man and a woman. These are not just abstract ideals. They are the bedrock of any relationship that stands the test of time. A man may be drawn to a woman for many reasons: her beauty, her intelligence, her warmth. But if he does not feel a deep sense of trust and loyalty with her, his commitment will always remain conditional. He may stay out of obligation or convenience, but he will not invest himself fully in the relationship. True devotion arises when a man knows, without a doubt, that the woman beside him is steadfast, reliable, and unwavering in her support. Trust is one of the most fundamental needs a man has in a relationship. Without it, he cannot be at ease. He cannot fully relax, and he cannot give himself completely. A man does not open his heart easily. He is wired to protect himself from unnecessary vulnerability. But when he finds a woman he can trust, someone who is consistent in her words and actions, someone who does not play games or manipulate his emotions, he will lower his guard. He will let her see parts of himself that the outside world never gets to witness. He will become more than just a provider, more than just a protector. He will become a man who deeply values the connection he shares with her. Loyalty is just as critical as trust. A man needs to know that the woman he loves will stand by him not just in times of ease, but in times of struggle. It is easy to be present when everything is going well, when life is smooth and success comes easily. But what about when he stumbles, when he faces failure, doubt, or hardship? A man pays close attention to how a woman reacts when he is at his lowest. If she withdraws, if she becomes impatient, if she loses faith in him, he will never forget it. He may not say it outright, but he will internalize that lesson, and it will shape how much of himself he chooses to invest moving forward. On the other hand, if a woman remains loyal, if she believes in him even when he is struggling to believe in himself, he will develop a level of attachment that cannot be broken by superficial challenges. Loyalty does not mean blind obedience or tolerating behavior that is harmful. It means standing firm in the face of external pressures, resisting the temptation to abandon something meaningful for temporary ease or fleeting excitement. It means not allowing outside influences, whether they be societal expectations, friends, or personal fears, to dictate the course of the relationship. A man deeply values a woman who demonstrates that she is not easily swayed, that her commitment is not dependent on convenience, but on a conscious choice she makes every day. In the modern world where attention is fragmented and options seem endless, loyalty has become more rare and therefore more valuable. A man who sees that a woman is truly loyal to him will reciprocate that loyalty tenfold. He will instinctively want to protect what he knows is special. He will not feel the need to seek validation elsewhere because he knows he already has something that cannot be easily replaced. A loyal woman gives a man the confidence to be fully himself, to take risks, to build, to grow, because he knows that no matter what happens, he has someone who believes in him and will not waver at the first sign of difficulty. When a man trusts a woman and knows she is loyal, it creates a deep sense of emotional security. He does not have to be on guard, does not have to second-guess her intentions, does not have to question where he stands. This allows him to focus on what he does best: building a future, striving for success, becoming the best version of himself. A man who feels truly secure in his relationship will naturally pour more of himself into it, not because he has to, but because he wants to. The woman who gives him this feeling will earn his lifelong devotion, his commitment, and his unwavering protection. When a man finds a woman who gives him the feeling of admiration, purpose, and security, he will dedicate himself to her in a way that is unwavering and absolute. Men are not complicated in what they seek, but they are often misunderstood. They do not simply desire beauty, charm, or fleeting excitement. They seek something deeper, something that speaks to their very core. A man wants to feel like he is needed, that his presence in a woman's life has meaning, that his strengths are recognized and appreciated. A woman who understands this does not try to control him, nor does she diminish his masculinity. Instead, she nurtures it, refines it, and inspires him to rise to his highest potential. She does not allow him to become complacent, but instead pushes him toward greatness, not through force, but through unwavering belief in him. She embodies true feminine strength, not as weakness, but as a powerful force that complements his drive. Most importantly, she gives him the foundation of trust and loyalty. She makes him feel secure, knowing that she will stand beside him, not just in success, but in struggle. A man who experiences this kind of love will give everything he has to protect and honor it. He will see her as irreplaceable, as the one person in the world who truly understands him, and in return he will devote himself to her in ways that transcend momentary passion, building a bond that is not just enduring but unbreakable.